G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action, going on another metal shopping trip. On the train into the city and actually heading out to Parramatta today, checking out Beat Disc Records, and I haven't seen one of these pie face shops in a while. Thought they were all gone. And here we are at Beat Disc Records. They got a big lot of used awesome OGs in, but most of them have been picked over by now. But I did want to come in and take a look around the shop anyway, see what was left. Straight into the used records, and we have Blasphemy, Fallen Angel of Doom at the front. No, it's not the Wild Rags, this is a 2007 reissue. We have Asphyx, Embrace the Death. This is also a 2000s issue, I believe. Diocletian, an EP, I think from about 2018 or so, Decimator. And look at this awesome one, Demon Sea, with Joined in Darkness, 2023 reissue. I need that. Got an old Accept, Breaker, Ari's Kingdom, Return to the Dust. I've not actually listened to that band. Nocturnal, another band I've kind of forgotten about. Witch Trap, Sorceress Bitch. This is an absolute classic. I've got the original LP. Thronium. There's a Proclamation that was here I almost grabbed, but I'm pretty convinced about getting the Demon Sea. From the OGs, the Mystifier Goetia is still on the wall, $200 used. It's not bad. And Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness for $150. Rotting Christ with a 7-inch from the early days. This is very, very tempting. Ultimately, I decided against it. Same with this Flesh Crawl, Lost in a Grave. I was very close to picking this one up, but the condition was a bit rough, and the tracks are on other releases anyway. Still, a nice bit of curiosity there. Take a flick through all the newer LPs. Obviously, you get your Blood Incantations. Blitzkrieg reissue. Bit of a Deicide. Obligatory Death. Obligatory Exhumed. More Death. Caveman Cult. I know this band, but I've never actually listened to them. Marty Friedman, Cacophony. Some old Cannibal Corpse, some new Cannibal Corpse, more Exhumed. I'm not too sure what this dark ambient band was. Evocation. Gruesome, with their latest one sounding very much like Death, of course. Immolation, that's a really good album from theirs. Atonement. The latest one from King Parrot. These guys are blowing up all around the world. Mutilation. And Mortician. Great album there from Necrot. And one from Outer Heaven. And the new Nile. This Oppressor I got on CD last time I was in here. And Pissgrave. Absolutely excellent album. Pig Destroyer. Seeing these guys live with Wormrot in a couple of months. Spectral Wounds. Saw those guys live last month. Zompantly, this is a great album. Zentrix with Kin, not a great album. Witch Vomit, an excellent album. And my timing was excellent because the new Convulsing album just came into stock. Take a look at the CDs now. Panning through some CDs and DVDs. Under the Southern Cross compilation. We all had this back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Nazul, Misery, Alchemist, Volatile, great Aussie bands. Captor, Lay It to Rest, Dark Symphonies reissue. Carnage, Dark Recollections, awesome reissue from Relapse. Drowning the Light of Celtic Blood and Satanic Pride, old reissue there. Exhorter, split there with Slaughter in the Vatican and The Law. Interesting new wave of British heavy metal compilation here. Big fat double CD set. Interesting bands on here. Lantern Dimensions, one of the more underappreciated modern Finnish bands. Mayhem Demistress, this is an early DSP pressing, not the original, this has got a barcode on it, but it is an Australian reissue with a Modern Invasion triangle, always a sign of quality. Profanatica, Disgusting Blasphemies, look at that, names of the tracks, amazing. Volcano Live, I think this might be some kind of bootleg, grey market release, but I've got the LP, this is an awesome release of Brazilian thrash. The Xmas Project, this is 1986 Noise Records, I think. All kinds of metal bands doing Christmas songs. Oh dear, oh dear. Into Egg Records, take a bit of a quick look. They actually have a few records added to the metal section today. Vastum Official Purge, used copy, excellent album. Don't know why somebody would trade that. There's a hardcore band, Sect Mark, don't know them. But I do know Acephylax, that's a great album. Look at this Autopsy picture disc of Mental Funeral. I think it's a more modern picture disc, but that's some awesome artwork. It always has had a great cover. And of course, more Death albums. And Coroner, Mental Vortex. Into Repressed, there's one item I'm here to pick up today. Not going to go through this in huge detail as I was here only a few weeks ago, but they got in the Pissgrave reissues, Suicide Euphoria. What a classic. In the used, we have a newer Megadeth, Judas Priest British Steel, but check out the Nuclear Assault with Survive. This is an original on IRS. Now, I already have the original, I think, on a different label, but that was an awesome pickup there. Take a look at the new albums here. We have Ancient Dead finally has the LP reissue. I did opt for the CD, so I'll stick with that. Crypt Sermon, not a big fan, but they're getting quite popular. Thurgion, this is the reason I am here, the new Death Doom project from Alex Poole. Really good stuff on Profound Law. Take a look at some of the CDs. We have a used copy here of Overkill, one of their earlier albums, but Forbidden Evil, classic Forbidden there on Combat. Nazul Totem, this is the Australian original release on Vampire Records. Excellent price for it if you don't have it. This band is called Dusk, I believe, and it's some kind of black ambient band. Contusion, this is a new death metal band, as is Blood Monolith, and there's the Thurgion in CD version. So a successful shopping trip overall, but we're going to get into the Repressed Records stuff first, and then I've got some VCLT that I'm going to show at the end here, some Vinyl Community Love Train, if you've always wondered what that stood for. Basically, people in the metal community sending each other stuff, and I received a very generous package from Marty Worm from the Heavy Metallurgy, including an item from Melanie Loves Death Metal. So we'll get to that at the end. But firstly, we're going to take a look at what I picked up from Repressed Records, which was half the reason I went in. And that is the full-length debut from Thurgion, I'm not too sure, All Under Heaven. This is a new Death Doom band in the style of the old Peaceful Three, particularly old Anathema, old My Dying Bride. But this is from Alex Poole of Haxanu, along with Lewis Keller, or Lewis Seller, usually just goes by the initials LC, and Rory Flay of Collier de Ombre. Names that should be familiar to people that watch this channel and all of the black metal that Alex and his associates put out that I collect and have talked about. This time they're taking a stab at the early 90s Death Doom, and they do a really, really good job with this. It's, I think, to my knowledge, their first sort of combined efforts at this style. That romantic My Dying Bride kind of Death Doom. That's sort of half clean vocals, half sort of gutturals. Lots of, just strings and just lush sounding thing. But that, it's still got a lot of balls to it. It sounds pretty authentic to the style too, I've got to say. That's why I was really impressed and picked it up.
Originally, when I saw that Alex was doing a Doom project, I was wondering, okay, where is this going? Because there's the crypt sermon kind of Doom, which isn't really to my style, and then there's this kind of death Doom, which is more to my style. So I was happy it was down this path. LC is on vocals again. He's in vocals in Haxanu as well, and he gives the clean vocals a try as well as the gutturals. And I'm not going to say he's Sebastian Bach here, but he's giving it a good go. A bit more refinement, I think, on his cleans for any follow up. I think we'll see him really just developing the clean vocal style. There's nothing wrong with it here, but it's not. You can tell it's sort of early attempt. It's not perfection or anything like that. But I think it suits the music really, really well. So props to him for doing the clean vocals as well. But yeah, this is really good. This is really, really impressive on the one spin so far. I think I give it a lot of spins. I like the cover artwork. It's very minimal. It's got that very dark antiquities kind of thing going on there. It's like a mirror, I'd imagine is what's going on here. With the big ornate sort of edges on the thing there. I like their logo. Shame that they didn't put like a logo there, but I guess it looks better with the font. Um, and Oop, yep, I dropped the download code, but I've already used that just on black. So yeah, they use the real logo there. And you get the inner lyrics, a couple of instrumentals here. There's the band, three piece, so L, C, A, P, and R, F. It's really cool. And yeah, that's about all I need to say at this point. It's all of this stuff that I'm showing is one listen in, so I haven't got a great deal to say about it, except for that this is good. Thurgion with All Under Heaven. Yeah, check it out if you like your early 90s Death Doom. And next up, and man, talk about timing, as I said in the video before. Right place, right time. The new one from Convulsing with Perderance, the third full length from this is Brendan Sloan's solo project. Brendan's the bassist and vocalist in Alters since their rebirth 5 years ago or so. At this point, 4 years. Convulsing though, this has been his project for quite some time, predating Alters. At least his involvement in Alters. This is it's way more technical and avant-garde than his work in Alters. You can see him putting this influence into Alters since they come back, but yeah, this is some pretty out there stuff. The first album was Errata in 2016, which was really good. Then they split with Siberian Hell Sounds in 2017, and my personal favorite, up until this point at least, Grievous in 2018. Now, the two albums there, actually all of it really was quite challenging to get for some time. I was lucky and got the original presses of both just from somebody that happened to be selling them. But I know for most others, they were both out of print. The albums were out of print and they were fetching silly money, but they got repressed, I think, the year before last, maybe 2023. And that got them back out there, which was good. And this one here, this is 2024 album, Perderance. Came out digitally. I think he was shopping for a label. I remember reading some Instagram posts, something along those lines. And finally, we have it on physical format. It must have just come out. I was in Beat Disc, and the guy behind the counter said, "You'd probably Brendan Sloan." I'm like, I know that name. And he opened the box, and there was like a dozen copies of this thing. So great timing. Because yeah, shipping for a 2 LP set doesn't matter where you are in the country. That's going to add another $15 to it at least. So that was nice timing. Very happy with that. As for the music on Convulsing, this is definitely geared for fans of Ulcerate, Mitochondrion, later Gorguts, that kind of thing. The very technical, dissonant, avant-garde kind of death metal, all over the map. I'd say it's less crazy than Ulcerate and Mitochondrion. Bit more like that Coloured Sands kind of Gorguts, but I don't know. It's definitely its own thing for sure. He's got a lot in his brain that he's putting into this material. A lot of heart, a lot of maths. There's a good mix of skills coming out here. It's a fantastic presentation as well. Big, heavy 2 LP set. Make your art. I presume that's his handwriting through it all. I'll go through all the things you get here. So there were two LP variants that they got in. I'm assuming these are the two that you can get. You get a sort of black and silver, which is nice. It's just a side A, again, hand scrawled on it. The other one that came in was a clear, milky clear. I chose this one for, I don't know, I just kind of preferred. I got to see both of them. Yeah, side C and D. Just kind of preferred this color. Both go nicely with the drawn artwork. I wonder if that is his artwork as well. I would not be surprised. Didn't look that up. And you get a nice big booklet as well. So it really is the full presentation here. Why so much, like yeah, sure, you can get digital things, but this is fantastic, beautifully laid out. That's just your lyrics, but it's just so nicely done with a pen. There's a face list there. So yes, I had held off listening to this digitally entirely, so I only heard this the first time when the needle dropped, and I've only given it the one spin through. So still digesting. We'll be digesting for some time. It is that more complex sounding death metal, but this could be his most complex one yet. It's definitely the most crisp sounding. This is a excellent sounding release. But Convulsing's music unravels the more you listen to it. So definitely need more time with it. It's a bit futile to say much more besides if you are familiar with or at least like bands like Ulcerate, Gorguts, and Mitochondrion, you should at least check out Convulsing. And I have no reason to say you shouldn't start with Perturance here, because it sounds really good on the first listen through. And yeah, I expect it's going to sound even better as I keep spinning it. So seems to be a mix here between avant-garde, total dissonant worship, and I'm not too sure who that last logo is, but yeah, a bit of a mix of labels involved here. But yeah, so you can pick this one up definitely now for sure. And I got mine from Beat Disc Records. So if you're in Australia, hit up Beat Disc because they had copies, or just try Brendan's Bandcamp. He probably has copies himself at this point as well if you're in Australia. Otherwise, yeah, check out wherever you can get avant-garde stuff from. Highly recommend you check out anything from Convulsing, but why not start with Perturance? And although I missed out on the bulk of the old school OG stuff that was traded in at Beat Disc, that was fine. Like I said, I had everything from there that I really wanted, or things there that I just didn't need to change from CD. Certainly not for the price. But there were still a couple of secondhand things that were left that were not from that kind of period. But I was thrilled actually to pick up Demon Seed with Joined in Darkness. This is the 2023 reissue. Albums from 1999 originally came out on CD. US black metal band Demon Sea. I'm quite a latecomer to this band. I really jumped on with Black Star Gnosis in 2023. That was the first one I properly listened to. But I know that Ben Brainsmash has been going on about Demon Sea for a very long time, and he rates this album. So seeing it in the wild, this album from '99, nice reissue. So no brainer for me. I picked it up, and it was very, very well priced. 30 Australian dollars for something like this that it's used, but it's been played just once, right? That's about 20 US to see something in the shop there. I'm happy to pay that. Even less than that at this point. It's probably like 18 US. But yeah, this Demon Sea are a unique sounding black metal band. I mean, there's bands that sound like this, but few and far between compared to your usual, high pitched, screechy, tremolo kind of black metal. This is dark and churning stuff. This is like if Infesta were playing black metal. Infesta filtered through Beherit and Profanatica. That's Demon Sea. And I mean, Demon Sea's been around about as long as Profanatica. So, I think they might have even shared members, maybe. I mean, US black metal scene, there was a lot of that sharing. Gurgle, whisper vocals, down-tuned guitars. The band had been apparently active, according to the archive, since 1989. First demo in 91, and 4 more demos through till 96. So, yeah, definitely a lot of activity in the early days. But the first album, this is where it gets confusing, and I could use some official feedback from anyone in the comments here. Split between Metal Archives, The Oracle, and Discogs. We have 2 albums that came out in '99. We have this one, Joined in Darkness, and The Sylvan Realms of Frost. And they both came out in '99. Archive says that Frost came out first. Discogs says this came out first. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but 2 albums coming out in the same year. I'm curious if there is one that is, considered the first, which one it could be. If you happen to know, let me know. I'm just curious at this point, but it doesn't really matter. Both came out on CD on different labels in sometime in '99. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. But this is a dark and putrefying sounding, just filthy, nasty black metal. Yeah, that Beherit, that's really in here quite a lot. Yeah, it's perfectly. NWN's the perfect label to reissue Demon Sea stuff. It makes complete sense. So yeah, and with new updated artwork here by Chris Moyen, so that's good. If you look at the original CD artwork for both the first 2 albums, it's got really average block letter kind of font logo, and then just sort of photos of skulls. It's fine. It's very 1999, but yeah, this is better. I mean, Moyen artwork, Demon Sea, makes complete sense. So yeah, I'm happy in this case to go for something that is not the OG. There you go. I stuck the hype sticker on there. A new edition of US Black Metal Classic, summoned again by Nuclear War Now Productions, 11 Hymns of Darkness, Evil Manifest. Yep. Got the logo there. I do prefer their logo than that silly font. And it's the latest release, I think. It's a kind of greeny purple thing. This would have been a perfect kind of thing to have in just black, but, beggars can't be choosers. It's what was there. And there's the lyrics. There you go. There's old mate looking incredibly down in the vaults of Helvet kind of photo taken there. That's fantastic stuff. Love a bit of classic black metal cosplay. And this is Demon Sea with Joined in Darkness. Got to get a lot more spins out of this one. Really good stuff. So when I got home from the city, awaiting for me on my doorstep was a box from Marty Worm. Now, I knew he was sending me something, and I had an idea of what one of those things was, which is what I'll be showing at the end. But I didn't know anything about any of the music that was coming. I didn't expect any records, any CDs, any tapes, or anything like that. But he went and included 3 records. So very, very generous of you, sir, Mr. Marty Worm. And yeah, this is great stuff. I'm going to really enjoy getting to all 3 of these. And this was the one on top, and I was just thrilled. This is Armageddon, the Final War Approaching, a classic slab of Swedish black metal that I've wanted a copy of for ages. And it's not like it's super hard to get or anything. It's been reissued a few times. This is the 2019 Nordvis reissue. It's just, I don't know, like, there are things where I'll just wait, I'll bide my time, a copy will show up locally. Never did. But then this copy showed up locally because it was shipped to me from Marty Worm. So thank you, sir. I've always loved this cover. It's just pure black metal. Look at that. Grim and fucking frostbitten. What I need to say about this thing. It's originally from 2001, came out on Somber Records on LP. There was a CD at the same time. And it's had a few reissues, I think, over the years. This is, as I said, 2019 Nordvis version. This is just your classic Dark Throne, Judas Iscariot, black metal from B, just it's exactly what you want from that necro sounding, stripped back black metal. Straight up, no milk, no sugar, no honey. It's just black metal, like my coffee. That's it. All I need to say, and you need to check it out if you don't know it. Yeah, the Final War Approaching, big Germanic font. I mean, just bloody everything you want. So good. And yes, thankfully on black. I mean, could you imagine this in like bright pink or something? Just no. Armageddon, the Final War Approaching. There's 2 Armageddons, but I really enjoyed this particular one. Classic Swedish black metal. getting a bit more adventurous with the black metal sound now. Marty was kind enough to include one of his own Bind Rune recordings roster bands. This one, and I've heard him talk about it before, but I don't recognize this cover. This is Canis Diris by the Grace of Death. This is it's a name, as I said, I've heard him mentioned before. Canis Diris, and Marty's shown them on the stream or talked about them on a stream or two, but I've never checked out this music. This is pretty depressive sounding black metal. Not DSBM depressive. It's just not cheerful. This is gloomy gloomy stuff, and it's got a good mix of approaches here. I think this is their fourth album, so they've been doing this for a while. Lovely. I really like the cover artwork too. Not too sure who painted it, but yeah, really nice cover artwork. The first track on this one is the tracks here. Once Cursed Path glistens in the sun. That one is got your repetitive tremolo but slow pace, and that made me really go, this is going to be a gloomy sounding record. The second track, Tongues That Speak Ill, opens slower with a bit like a rock beat. So I thought we might get some black and roll, but we don't really. It hits lightning fast speed, starts giving me like an Order of Arias sound there with a light layer of keyboards in there and just a spiteful, hateful rasp in it. That was really good. Forlorn Hymn to Absolution, very full sounding track, a sort of doom metal almost. There's choirs, piano, multiple strings, and we start getting more of that as the album then goes on. You start getting more lush sounding things in here, more, I don't say like orchestra or anything, but it's just more instruments, more complexity, really rounding it out. I think one of those in there was a short instrumental that was purely that stuff. I really like the variety in this album. That's what really stands out. The first listen through, kind of wasn't sure what I was going to get next. The final song, The Mind Sees What the Eyes Cannot, absolute rager. Like, I was kind of predicting, as we were getting more and more of these tracks that are more lush and strings and that kind of thing, I'm like, I bet they're going to end with a rager. Bam. It just blasts through anything else that had come on the album before. And then it gets to a point when it starts becoming this like guitar virtuoso lounge music, like and that's how it ends. It fades out to that, but it comes in with a big sort of black metal screech at the end before it does. It's all over the place. Like, it's a track that could have been Pestilential Shadows and then ends up in black metal lounge music. Okay, why not? As I said, this is varied in the best possible way, and that's just going to make me more intrigued with the more listens and spins I give of it. So, yeah, really curious about this band now, Canis Diris, their fourth album. I know that they're on Moribund for a CD. I mean, I don't know how many Marty's done on Bind Rune. Nice colours here. They're sort of maroon and black goes with the cover artwork, which is cool. And artwork there on the centre. And there's the boys, 3-piece. Thanks list. Lyrics. Very cool. So, yep. Get to see old Marty and Austin of Bind Rune mentioned, of course, because it is their label. Bind Rune, a logo there down in the corner. So, yeah, Canis Diris, By the Grace of Death. Really interesting, sort of complex, well-rounded black metal that I kind of hesitate to just say black metal after talking about Armageddon, because this is a very different sounding thing. I was getting a little bit of like Woad. Woad have ended up on $20 spin, but their first couple of albums kind of in the same path as this, I'd say. They're like a death metal, doomy kind of black metal with a lot of complexities to it and a lot of oddball little trips down different laneways. Yeah, Canis Diris do a bit of that. So yeah, By the Grace of Death. Check it out. And lastly, from Marty in the records department, he sent me this, which I've seen him show and talk about this band before. Panphage or Panphage, I'm not too sure. Drangskapa is the name of the album. They are Swedish. It's a now defunct Swedish black metal band. Yeah, we'll go with Panphage. It's just easier for me to say. And it's another band, like I said, where I've seen this logo. I've seen these covers. There's 3 albums, I think, and they got very minimal, sort of just landscapey kind of covers. But that logo I've seen a few times, but I'd never checked out the music of this band. It's always intrigued me, the appearance, but I just never checked them out. As soon as the needle dropped on this thing, I'm like, this sounds like Arcanum, like early Arcanum, like their first 2 albums kind of period. Big, lush, organic, dynamic drums, just that kind of black metal. Yeah, harkening to that mid 90s, 95, 96, 97, that kind of territory. So go and look them up on the Oracle, go to the similar artists, and right there, number one, Arcanum. So sometimes I'm glad to be like, you know, verified when I look things up. I'm like, yeah, good. It wasn't just in my head. So that was nice. But I also hear Camphor out of Norway. Definitely that kind of stuff going on here. There's a lot of folk in the black metal here. Bit of Finnish as well. Mainly that early, like very first Horner kind of stuff. There is, yeah, it's the folk side of black metal in here, but don't go thinking it's all Oompa Loompa kind of black metal. It's not. It is just like Camphor. Really, it is like, you know, that Melon Skogger, blah blah blah. I can't say the name of it. A lot of that first 2 Arcanum. That's what you get here with Panpage. Fast, thin, tremolo guitars, snappy, fast but not overpowering drums, infinitely reverbed, deep vocals. And that's the thing that sort of stands apart from those 2 bands I mentioned. They're more in that higher range rasp. This is deeper vocals, kind of shouted. They sound very Germanic sounding vocals. But the music is highly melodic and, yeah, very folk inspired. So very surprising. This is a 2016 album. I listened to this and go, well, this might have been reissued in 2016 and come out in 1998. But no, this is effectively a modern band. However, they had been demoing since 2005 and had a litany of demo tapes up until their first album, which I think was maybe 2012 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but this is the one in between the second of the 3 albums, also out on Nordvis here. So this is exactly the kind of black metal that I gravitate towards. So yeah, props to you, Marty. You made a really good choice here to the VCLT me this one here. Drengskapa from Panphage. Nice pick, Marty. So, of course, to go along with my heavy metallurgy jacket I've got over here, I'm always frequently wearing it. I now have one of the famed heavy metallurgy patches. I don't have a battle jacket, but I do have a collection of patches. I kind of pin them up around this room in places that I can pin things up. So, yeah, I will have a HM patch pinned up somewhere around here until the future unknown time when I actually put together some kind of patch jacket. But who knows? It may never happen. But that's awesome. Yeah, high quality patches. Go check out Bindrune website, because that's where you can get all the heavy metallurgy stuff. You get the shirts, you get the patches, all that kind of stuff. Really good. So thanks, Marty, for including it. But this is the one thing that I had a reasonable idea was coming. I didn't know what design, but I was pretty sure this was it. So thanks to Marty, but also huge props, of course, to Melanie for the Melanie Loves Death Metal shirt. Hopefully I'm getting that on camera. It's a little bit creased, has to go through the wash. Yeah, she's got a few designs coming out, and this is the first run that she got Marty. Marty's day job is a printer, so he's got t-shirt machines to just print up stuff, and he whipped this one up. Not the design, but the print. So, yeah, really, really cool. I'm so thrilled that that Melanie was kind enough to include me on her t-shirt run. Look at this thing. Her new logo is great. It's got that brutal death metal kind of thing going on. She's on a massive BDM kick at the moment, so it makes sense. But look at this thing, this gory artwork. Body being ripped in half as it's coming through we've got a crocodile, alligators eating it in half or something, which makes sense given where she lives. Just black on the back, but yeah, awesome print. So good. So just soak that one in. So yeah, huge thanks to both of you guys. Thanks, Melanie. Hopefully I'll remember to leave links in the description to where you can pick up some shirts from Melanie. And yeah, props again to Marty for being the printer and distributor to get this stuff across the pond to me here in Australia. So thank you guys, and thanks to you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this shopping trip, VCLT, combined video here. If you did, please like and subscribe. Consider joining, 99 cents a month. Check out this guy, check out this guy, and I'll see you next time.